Oh, it's looking good. It's looking good, everyone. You know what? For the first time in a long time, the NHLPA have won some sort of negotiation. They stood fast on the financial side of things. They're going to kick that can down the road. And as long as the owners sign off on it, when they vote later this week, it looks like January 13th start, January the 3rd for training camps, and then games in the 13th with no training, with no exhibition games as well. So we're just going to dive straight into a 56-game season. A few people weren't happy about the exhibition games, no exhibition games. They're like, oh, it's going to be a bit hard for these players to jump in. But my counterpoint to that is that everyone's in the same boat, so I kind of feel like it's not too bad to everyone to start on the same note, and we can see it all ramp up. Plus, we'll just be so excited that we'll get to see hockey again that I don't think we'll care whether it's an exhibition game or not. Those exhibition games before the last thing were so bad. They were terrible games to watch. No one cared. Half the teams didn't even want to be in that bubble, so it was just bad. So yeah, you want to eliminate any risk, and one or two less times that teams need to travel. Every single time you can prevent that, you should. So I'm all for it. So yeah, start to look to see a lot more hockey news coming out shortly. I think it still might be a few days trickle, but there's still a few RFAs need to be signed. Barzell, the Islanders, and obviously after Boychuk retiring, hopefully they can get that deal sorted. And there's a few other things that in bits and pieces that need to get done. Still tons of UFAs on the market. Still some trades need to be done at Tampa's side of things to get things moving. So there's still tons of moving pieces and lots of news. So expect that to all ramp up, especially before Christmas. Because I'd imagine that once they get to training camp, that's where everyone would like to be set of where everything's at. And you kind of don't want to be doing that over the New Year break, I don't think. At least in my mind. But it might take a few days because I have a feeling that things are going to be slow until the NHL tells everyone how many people are on these rosters to go around. It looks like it's going to be up to 26 from 23. That way, if there's injuries and things like that, there's less people going up and down from the minor system into the main team, and also a fair few people in the ECHL just got made free agents, with 8 teams now not participating. Every single player on those teams became free agents this year. So the ECHL pool is quite deep now, and so some teams there can sign some more players, and vice versa with the AHL. They can send a few more players up because they've got to send more into the NHL team. So, God, it's crazy the amount of things that ECHL thing really does trickle down to might be a bit of a blessing in disguise in that sense. Obviously not great for anyone that's out of work, or because I know it's a living for some players. But at least it means that they can get the extra players up, and the AHL teams are still, somewhat functional. And then on the ECHL thing, like I said, there's a lot of free agents that have just been put on the market. So, going to be interested to see how it all works. Felipe Myers of the Philadelphia Flyers just signed a 3-year extension. So the first one, obviously, it's been quite a stalemate recently, and nothing's been getting done on these side of things. So that's awesome. Had a bit more of a coming out season and became much more of an NHL mainstay this year. Impressed a fair bit. Still a little bit young, but, in the games that I did see him play, I wouldn't say he stood out, but he didn't also stand out for the wrong reasons. So, like a handy little player there. If he can take another step forward, this contract could be really good. It's 3 years, 2.5, or just over $2.55 million a year. Yeah, so it's not a bad little deal at all, I don't think. Helps the Flyers out, and like I said, he fits that mold pretty well. I think he's like 6'4", 6'5", big body. I imagine he's very close to 200 pounds, and that's the way he played when he was out there. So very much plays that Flyers hockey, even though they're not the Broad Street Bullies anymore, and it's been a long time since they were the goon squad out there, but they've always still had that identity, haven't they? So. And last but not least, you're seeing a lot more European players coming over now. So there's definitely a good instance that the season's probably ramping up here. And a lot of these players were told, look, get ready for Jan 15. Everyone's pretty fit at the moment. I know Romanoff, he hasn't started obviously, but for the Montreal Canadiens, he's in, so he's ready to go. And there's a fair few others that have come over. Still the Americans still to come up for the Canadian side of things. But yeah, it looks like it's all go ahead. It's more just how is this going to work now? Like it's crazy. Everything was bogged down by the money, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh wait a minute, what are the divisions going to be, and how are the games going to work, and how's the playoffs going to work, and what's going to happen there? Ooh boy. If I was the NHL, I might look at it extend the playoffs again. I know some people weren't happy about that, but if at that time you're able to get fans in the arenas, and you're looking at June and whatnot, then you'd be crazy not to do that, because just the revenue you'd get for having a few extra playoff games would go a long way into at least shortening this gap. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how things go, especially because that cap ain't going up for the next 2 years. So yeah, there's lots to talk about and lots to go through, but that's more videos for another day. Just excited that I think I always said mid-Jan. So I'm fine that they look to see what they could do financially. It didn't work out. They're not going to delay things any further. They're just going to get on with it. So that's really good. Anyway, guys, that is the whole video. If you did like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe. It really does help us out. We're up to 318 subs. And yeah, comment down below if you want to see a certain video or have any ideas. I'll do it. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, if you're just excited for the season to come up, I know I am. So yeah. And video coming out. I've got one more day of work. One more, and then I'm completely off. So there'll be like 3 videos a day. But yeah, next video will be the things that need to happen in the off season before the season can start within the NHL. Not like, oh well, we need to get labor stuff. It's more like Barzal needs to be signed, and yeah, those sort of things. So that'll be the next video. But thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye.